I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down.
Hello, I'm Rumble.
And I'm YouTube.
YouTube, why are you dressed like that?
Well, I've been seeing a lot of violations in the community lately, so I'm enforcing that.
You mean like people not following your policies?
Strike one!
What if someone tells the truth, but it's labeled as misinformation?
Strike two!
Wow, what if I want to ask questions and have different opinions on things?
Strike three! You're out of here!
Now what?
You may appeal to me in 30 days.
Thankfully, we encourage diverse opinions and new ideas.
Strike four!
Dude, what? There's no such thing as 4 strikes. And I'm not even on your platform.
Strike five!
All right, I'm out. You're crazy. Later, dude.
Strike six!
Of your chronic medication simply running out? At Jace Medical, you can now purchase up to a 12-month emergency supply of your medication. This supply is not intended to replace your doctor or current medication solution, but to give you the peace of mind in an emergency. Fill out our online form, and one of our certified physicians will review it to determine whether medications are safe and appropriate. Then they send your prescriptions to one of our pharmacies, where your Jace order will be mailed directly to your home. Start your order today.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
All right, so that should solve our little sound problem right there, I hope. Is that a tick? No. All right, so that's how's my sound now, guys? How's my sound? Hicktown Honey, I came back. We got a few people popping there in on the Clapper side. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Shelby Jack says I'm good on sound. That's for Clapper. And Real Patriot says I'm 5x5 on Rumble. And Brian Smith says I'm 5x5 on YouTube's. All right, so we're good. We're good now. All right, so let's see what's in the news. What do we got here? Eagle Lover Text says, I don't recognize you. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. All right, so let's go ahead and knock this one out. Do me a favor. If you are watching, let's go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that bell if you're on YouTube, because YouTube is not notifying people, guys. You just had a perfect example of YouTube notifications not going out to everybody. If you're watching this, do me a favor, check and make sure your notifications are still on. I had 2 shut off yesterday on some of the guys that I watch on YouTube. So do me a favor, keep an eye on that kind of stuff. That way you do get the word that is being passed, the word of the day, those kind of things. All right. Oh, JDM showed up. What's going on with you, girl? I haven't seen you in a while. Nice. Catitude is here. Light Raider sound. Okay, start over. No, I will not. 3, 2, 1, get back. No, I don't do that anymore, devil dog. All right, let's see here. Colt says he's 4th. Let's see. Y'all says it's been raining for days here. I'm over it. I bet. All right. Hey, Shelby Jack, good to see you. Rusty Shackelford, good to see you as well. Good to see you again. Okay. All right. So if you guys didn't catch the what's that button do there? Looks like I've got 10 people on YouTube. Unheard of. So yesterday I played the conflicted game. If you guys didn't catch that, I spent about an hour and a half with 4 very intelligent preppers. I've labeled us the Graybeards. Yeah, some are older than others, but that doesn't matter. And I know you're never going to sit down and watch an hour and 22 minutes of a video. I don't know that I would either. I was able to finally record that video for you, and I'm in the process of cutting it up into pieces that are more easy to digest. And basically, it asks you questions. This game asks you, if you've never heard of it before, it asks you questions based off of post-apocalyptic. Like, I'll grab one out of the card right now. That one's too long. I'm not going to do that. Let's try this simple one right here. And we're not going to spend a lot of time on this. I just wanted you guys to have a reference. Come on now. By the way, they're also playing cards too. There's, where we at here? This is the King of Hearts. So they're also playing cards. Some of them are in depth, some aren't. Let's see here. In the event you are preparing for, if the event you are preparing for becomes a reality, how do you think our society will look post-collapse? So some very real questions, some longer questions, and like I said, I'm going to be chopping that up into snippets that are much easier for y'all to digest and actually enjoy. So that video will drop tonight at just after 8 o'clock, because obviously I don't want it dropping while we're doing this. But that'll drop on YouTube at 8, just after 8 o'clock, like 8:07 or something like that tonight. Hey, what's up, Kaylee? Good to see you. And yeah, I'm basically gonna chop that thing up into between 10 and 15-minute snippets. That way you can actually enjoy it, kind of get something out of it, because there were some pretty hardcore questions that got answered. I have a different perspective on a lot of things, and there were some disagreements, but that'll be for you guys to figure out what you think you might believe and what you might think about those particular questions. Anywho, let's go ahead and get into it right now. JB showed up. Good to see you, bro. Violet says, last. Somebody has to bring up the rear. Yes. Tail End Charlie is a must for every patrol. He calls me Kaylee, y'all. It's okay. I'm used to it. Kylie. Kelly? At least I don't call you Karen. Anywho. All right, let's see here. Kai. Hey, Kai. I'm getting lectured on how to say somebody's name. Yes, no, Karen. There you go. All right, so let's go ahead and get it. Good Boys Guild showed up. Scott from Florida. All right, good. He's there. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Make sure that you guys do comment. I will have all three chats operating. I've got the super secret chat right here. By the way, the Real Patriot Medic, he was first. Let's see here. Oh, I'm sorry, Pat. Pat jumped right in. He says, I'm not calling first, but I will say. So then we got Real Patriot Medic. You got Miss Melody is here. And you got, all righty then, my friend from the Canuck. I got removed from Rumble for some reason, trying to verify my email again. I believe it, man. It's stuff's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But I do have all three chats. I will not be able to post any chats onto the screen unless you're on the YouTube side. Just be aware. Let's see here. All right, so let's go ahead and let me start pushing some buttons here. That's invite guests. That is share screen, extra camera. I don't know why it does this. I don't know why it's like you're missing a whole damn button. Let's go ahead and start with this one right here. There's a little bit of happy news, guys. I thought you might enjoy this one right here. And I want to put myself over there. There we go. Is that right? Is that right? No, that's not right. It can't be right. And one of these is right. I thought it was this one, but it's not. It's going to be this one right here. There we go. All right. So middle school students revolt against Pride Month. Chant, USA are my pronouns. Isn't that freaking awesome? It's awesome. What we got here? Marshall Simmons Middle School. Let's see here. Americans are fed up. I need to lower my microphone here a little bit. Americans are fed up with the left's woke ideologies being crammed down their throats in every facet of society. Boston.com reported that on June 2nd, students at Marshall Simmons Middle School in Berlin, a freaking middle school, stood up, revolted against a school-sanctioned Pride Month celebration. The article stated that the event, known as Spirit Day, was organized by the Spectrum Club, a student group that supports LGBTQ plus elemental PXYZ stuff, students and their allies. Members of the club adorned the school with Happy Pride Month signs, pride flag banners, rainbow streamers, and distributed rainbow stickers. They also encouraged students and faculty to wear rainbow-themed attire. The students reportedly tore down the signs and banners while chanting, USA are my pronouns, proudly sporting red, white, and blue clothing. Guys, I wanted to show that to you there so that we know that an entire generation is not wasted. An entire generation is not fully indoctrinated into the craziness of sheeplehood. You know, I thought it was important. Now, you guys, if you guys know me, you know I don't care who you decide to love. I just don't. I don't care. But rule number one, don't fuck with our kids. Don't do it. Otherwise, you know, I don't understand why there's not 7,000 mama bears beating down principals' doors to stop this crap. It's a little confusing. It's a little confusing for me. So let that one sink in for a while. Let's see here. JDM says, whoops, real name is Karen, just spelling Karen. All right, so let's see here. What else do we have, since I don't have any real statements in there? What do we got here? I'm proud to be an American father and a husband. The rest is just distraction from things most important. There you go. Hicktown Honey says, don't push stuff down throats. Exactly. Yeah, you know, it's crazy. Cool Coach says streams have been jacked for a lot of people I follow lately. Yeah, they are messing with our the things that we're trying to accomplish online. They are messing with these things. It is bad. But you know, it's not about fighting back. It's about resilience. Oh, really? You just turned all these notifications off? Dynamite, guys. Hey, do me a favor. Check your notifications because they're messing with us again. And then we go bloop, 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 and everything turns back on. You know, it's like these are childish little moves that don't work. They don't work. They're dealing with people who actually are paying attention. They're used to dealing with these dum-dums that forget about streams, that forget about channels because they don't pop up in their wall or in their profile. And if you're used to doing a specific thing, then you're used to doing a specific thing. And when that thing doesn't happen, you're like, hey, what happened to that? What happened to that? And you have to go looking for it. I mean, I am subscribed to probably over 200 different prepper YouTube channels. Some of them just like don't run anymore. They don't do anything. And I just keep them as a reference. Others are, so I can get like this idea of what people think. And I don't like to duplicate the things that other people are talking about, so trying to stay original, trying to stay straightforward, trying to stay on top of things. No, I don't sit around and watch 200 YouTube channels every day. I have my favorites like everybody else. Holy shit. Somebody just gave me 354 diamonds. I don't know what that means, but I know I just made $1, about $1. So I thank you, whoever that was. Let's see here. What do we got here? What is my next thing? The next thing that's on our agenda right here. If you hadn't heard yet, God, I don't know why I don't. Is it this one? It is. Okay. We're going to pop that one on there. Boop, boopy doop. U.S. government says several agencies hacked as part of a broader cyber attack. So yesterday into this morning, Earth time, there was a lot of cyber attacks over there in Europe, but apparently there's a group out of Russia that they're pretty well, they understand. Several U.S. agencies have been hacked as part of a broader cyber attack that has hit dozens of companies and organizations in recent weeks through a previously unknown vulnerability in popular file sharing software. Let me get down to you right here. There we go. The hacker exploited a vulnerability in a program called MoveIt, a popular tool for quickly transferring files. The U.S. government, in different places, DOD, Department of Energy, there's a lot of them actually. They have their own file sharing capability. And when we say that, it's kind of like if I need to get you a file and I'm over on, coast A and you're on coast B, well, I can upload this file into a secure area on a government cloud, and then you can take it back down. And that's how the government shares its files. So, and this one was particularly called MoveIt. So it wasn't immediately clear if the stolen files were sensitive or if the hackers had disrupted government systems. Apparently, this is the third known instance in as many years that foreign hackers have been able to break into multiple federal agencies and steal information. I'll be honest with you, likely it wasn't anything classified, but this is significant because they're looking for exploits. It's what they're doing. Where are we at here? Oh, and by the way, I love it. The name of the group is called CLAP. CLAP. Last week, CISA and the FBI issued a warning that CLAP was exploiting a previously unknown vulnerability in MoveIt, which is the file sharing software. In a rapid hacking spree, the group used that flaw to steal files from at least 47 organizations and demand payment to not publish them online. Isn't that special? Why am I not pushing? Why is it's, I can't get, can I move that? No way I can. I don't know what this is. I don't know what's happening, but that's okay. Let's take that off the screen just so we can do that. Hey, what's up, Pepper? Good to see you. I used your code to get my $50 off EMP Shield. I'm going to show you that. I don't know who you are, but I'm going to put you on the screen. Are we just exploring every path? Nice to meet you. Let's see here. Thanks. I don't know what that means, but you are very welcome. And they're easy to install. They're nothing to install. It's 3 wires, positive, negative, ground. If it takes you more than 15 minutes, check the instructions. If it takes more than 30 minutes, go find my video on how to install it. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Okay, no more. There's no more in there. There's no more in there. People who want digital currency, the people who want digital currency, everyone, keep your eyes on the prize, being prepared for whatever comes. What do we got here? Good evening, all. I'm everywhere tonight. Pat, cool Colt. He is omnipresent. He is omnipresent. I have to click way too many things to show you guys stuff. It's pretty crazy. All right, let's see here. We got a couple things to talk about over on this side, and we're gonna push that right there. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. The WEF, the World Economic Forum, is pushing digital ID. Say it isn't so. Biometric ID company boasts about joining the World Economic Forum. Fingerprint cards. The Swedish biometric company has taken a big step into the World Economic Forum's new champions community and assembled a mid-sized enterprise. We know that the WEF is keen to promote biometric forms of digital ID and flaunting the distinction of being the inaugural biometric firm in the community. Fingerprint cards, which is the name of the company, underlying goal is to be the guiding light in biometric technology and a steward of social inclusion. What a load of horse shit. You know what all that whole paragraph just said? First. That's all they want. They just want to be first in so they can set the standards. They can say we were here first. Everybody else fall in line with us. We'll create the umbrella for everybody else to get in underneath us. That's so they can build their pyramid scheme. That's exactly 100% all that is happening. So, yeah. They want biometric stuff. Say it isn't so. Oh, look, lobbying for digital ID. You guys are going to love this. You guys are going to love this. I've actually got a video to show you. Digital ID industry groups ask Biden to speed up efforts towards digital ID. A powerful alliance of 10 U.S. industries associations is pressuring the Biden administration to step up its push to adopt digital IDs. They're all chomping at the bit. They've all built their software. They know what I think it's like interacting, and it's touching those little banks like the one at the in New York. So they did their little test on it. You guys remember that from about 3 or 4 months ago? Oh yeah. They're all chomping at the bit to get that digital ID done so they can get that CBD done so that you don't have cash in your pocket and they do. Yeah. And who's behind it? You're going to love this. The group includes big names like Better Identity Coalition. Never heard of them. U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Say it isn't so. Home of the commies. American Bankers Association. Well, there you go. Electronic Transactions Association. No one cares. And the Software and Information Industry Association. Their message is clear. Why did my screen just move? That was weird. Their message is clear. Simple support and education won't cut it when it comes to fighting the financial drain caused by fraud. It's all about, we're going to make things so good for you guys. Yeah, that's what it's going to be, man. It's just, hey, just let us in and we're going to make sure that fraud never happens again, guys. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get some, we're going to surf a toasty wave of freedom and no fraud. And if you believe that, I got a bridge in Idaho to sell you. All right, let's go ahead and push this button right here. Check out Section 8 and 10 of Article 1 of the Constitution. Yeah, it's an interesting read, but I love when people go Constitution, and it's nothing personal, Pepper. It's just like, okay, listen, dude, if you read it and you understand it, then you really read it and you understood it. And it's not about getting other people who don't understand it to read it, because the people who are at the top of the food chain are completely ignoring it. You know, and that's like saying Hillary broke the law and we all know it. You know, that's like saying those other things that we're not allowed to say that we know are true. So yeah, that's the ticket right there. Let's see here. Let me check the other chat real quick. The people who want digital currency, everyone, nobody's talking in that chat. Nobody's talking in that chat. What do we got here on this other chat right here? We're still open. We're still open. Looks like we're blazing on the YouTube side. We've got, let's see here. It's a race. Nope. Rumble is still winning with 41 people in it, but I'm liking the YouTube thing. I wish the YouTube people would say, like some other interesting stuff so I could put it on the screen. Whoopi's real name is Karen. Where are we at here? Whoopi's real name is Karen, just spelled Karen. That's hilarious. All right, so what do we got here? What is next? What is next? Oh yeah, you guys are gonna love this. This one is the meat and potatoes for the show today. Let's see here. I gotta find that stupid share a screen, and I'm gonna show you something that's kind of interesting. Nightmare scenario. U.S. government has been secretly stockpiling dirt on Americans via data brokers. Yeah, it's always great. It's they always try to find a way around the law. The U.S. government has been purchasing troves of information on American citizens from third-party data providers. Why would they be doing that? The United States government has been secretly amassing a large amount of sensitive and intimate information on its own citizens. A group of senior advisors informed Avron Haines, I'm not going to read that again, the director of national intelligence, more than a year ago. Oh, really? Oh, more than a year ago. The size and scope of the government effort to accumulate data revealing the minute details of Americans' lives are described soberly and at length by the director's own panel of experts in a newly declassified report. Haines had first tasked her advisors in late 2021 with untangling a web of secretive business arrangements between commercial data brokers and the intelligence community members. Well, isn't that special? This report reveals what we feared most. According to the attorney, Sean Vidka of the Demand Progress nonprofit, intelligence agencies are flouting the law and buying information about Americans that Congress and the Supreme Court have made clear the government should not have. The government has been using craven craven interpretations of aging laws to bypass privacy rights, as prosecutors have increasingly ignored limits traditionally imposed on domestic surveillance. What they just said was the government is not surveilling you. The government is buying your information, which is completely legal when you hit the I understand, I accept button on websites or apps. You remember those things make sure you read, and it's like 50 pages. Like, I'm not reading this crap. Accept, so you can use the app. Oh yeah. So the government is actually buying your information and building databases. I mean, the information's got to go someplace, right? Yeah. They're building databases on U.S. citizens. During a March 8th hearing, Wyden pressed Haines to release the panel's report. After Haines said it should absolutely be read by the public, on Friday, that's exactly what happened. After the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, or the ODNI, released it amid a battle with the Electronic Privacy Information Center over various related documents. Quote, this report makes it clear that the government continues to think it can buy its way out of constitutional protections using taxpayers' own money. Congress must tackle the government's data broker pipeline this year before it considers any reauthorization of Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, he said. The ODNI's own panel of advisors makes clear that government statistics, interpretations of what constitutes publicly available information, possess a significant threat to the public. The advisors decry existing policies that automatically conflate, in the first place, being able to buy information that it being considered public. The information being commercially sold about Americans today is more revealing, available on more people in bulk, less possible to avoid, and less well understood than that which is traditionally thought of as being publicly available. So what basically what they're talking about, okay, so it's called mensuration of data. I mean, it sounds worse than it is, guys, trust me. So it's called mensuration of data. It's where you take lots of data points, lots of pieces of information, and you bring them all together to form one picture. It's almost like building a dossier or a file on somebody. You know, that's really what it is. That's really what it is. All right, what do we got here? I don't think we need to go any further. I think you guys got the picture on that particular one right there. It's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. But at some point, you know, it's like some freaking 20-something in a boardroom someplace in the CIA said, well, you know, if we can't use Section 702 of and if we can't do anything without a warrant, well, why don't we just buy the data? And some dude in a suit that has access to millions of dollars in a cushy position within the government goes, wow, why didn't we ever think of that before? Why didn't we? You're getting a raise. You're all fired over there. This guy, he runs shit now. Listen to him. And that's what they're doing. They're actually buying our data, and what they're doing is a process. You can look it up. It's called de-anonymize. Okay, it means to make you not anonymous anymore. They do it through several different ways. Some of it electronic, some of it just old school, putting the data points together. But that's exactly what's happened. Let's see here, and and that's what the cookies are. We're gonna throw that one up there, and that's what the cookies are. Scott says no. Scott's like, no cookies are for eating. Of course they are. Of course they are. Let's see. Where are we at here? Oh, I already installed it. Super easy. I got you. And I'm actually using that a double entendre there, just explore in path, because I know you're talking about the EMP shield, but I'm referencing the app process in which they steal all of our stuff. Let's see. Europe is much stricter about privacy. Kind of sucks. US isn't. Well, you know, they say they are. They say they are, but you know, it's a little difficult to say that when, you know, the Bank of England is funding a digital wallet for CBDCs, and then over in the UK, their government has been caught red-handed, either influencing or spying on its citizens through red tape. And so it doesn't really, the feel is not, I would say that it probably feels like they're not doing it, but they clearly are. They clearly are. You know, the other thing too is, I don't know if anybody else has seen that. I think it was an Aldi's or a Lidl. I can't remember which one it was in the UK. Where this man who refused to install the app onto his phone was not granted access into the store, because having the app on your phone was a requirement to get in the store. Yeah, that happened this week. So when they try that shit here, people just turn around. They just walk. There's too much freedom here. The people in the UK have already been socialized. They're at the very end of their freedom life cycle. They might as well be Chinese with social credit scores, because that's really what they got. You know, that's really what's happening over there. Okay, so I've got something for you guys. I've got something for you. So basically, I need to make that bigger. That's what she said. We're going to go ahead and throw this up on the screen right here, and I may even mute my mic while it plays. But I want you guys to think about this, and while this video plays. They are actually in the process of trying to get rid of end-to-end encryption under the guise of protecting you from yourselves, and making it harder for the terrorists to do things. But I want you to watch this and see who these players are that are doing this. So here we go.
Encryption, the process of encoding messages or information in a way that only authorized parties can understand it, has a long and storied history that dates back several millennia. It's important to remember that encryption is nothing but a puzzle. It's speculated that the earliest known example of encryption can be traced back to ancient Egypt, around 1900 BC, where non-standard hieroglyphs were used in an inscription known as the Tomb of Khnum-Hotep II. This early attempt at encryption, often referred to as substitution cipher, highlights the importance of secure communication, even in ancient civilizations. This wasn't a simple form of cryptographic substitution, but rather a more complex method known as steganography. Steganography is the practice of concealing a message within another message or physical object. In the case of the Tomb of Khnum-Hotep II, the scribes used a specific type of steganography called hieroglyphic substitution. This meant that while the inscription could be read as a typical funerary script, there was a hidden message encoded within the hieroglyphs. Some experts speculate that it was simply a way of preventing the masses from understanding sacred text. Others speculate that it was simply wordplay for fun or to create a sense of allure. Whatever the reason, both are relevant when explaining why encryption, writing and storing things in coded ways, or using a language that others don't understand, should be forms of protected speech. The Jefferson disk, also known as the wheel cipher, is an encryption device theoretically invented by Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, in the late 18th century, long before his presidency. Around 1790, Jefferson dreamed up a cylindrical device consisting of several rotating disks, each inscribed with the 26 letters of the alphabet in a random order. Each disk is unique, with a different scrambled arrangement of letters. The disks are stacked on a spindle, and they can be independently rotated. When arranged correctly, they can encode a message which can be read horizontally across the disks. Something similar to this, named the M94, was developed in 1917 by U.S. Army Major Joseph Mawborn. And in World War II, the Axis powers took this idea and created a more advanced device called the Enigma machine. The Enigma machine, developed in Germany after World War I, is one of the most iconic symbols of cryptography's role in warfare and espionage. This electromechanical device was used extensively by Nazi Germany during World War II to encode and decode secret messages, playing a pivotal role in communication security. The Enigma's complex encryption system presented a daunting challenge to the Allies, and the eventual deciphering of the Enigma codes, primarily by British scientist Alan Turing, marked a turning point in the war. Encryption is a fascinating tool at the intersection of mathematics and language that lies at the heart of data security. Both math and speech each play a crucial role. Language itself can be seen as a form of obfuscation, with code words and slang being used to encode different meanings, depending on who is being spoken to. The language we use can be altered to include people, or even keep them out. That's why it's absurd that governments around the world are trying to ban encryption. From a legal perspective, in the US in particular, encryption is seen as a form of speech protected under laws that guarantee freedom of speech. This viewpoint was notably advanced in the Bernstein versus United States case, where it was argued that code, including encryption algorithms, is speech and should be protected by the First Amendment in the United States. The reasoning is that, like speech, encryption is a medium through which individuals can express ideas, communicate with others, and assert their privacy. It was the mid-90s, and there was this whiz-kid mathematician at UC Berkeley, Daniel J. Bernstein. He comes up with a new encryption algorithm called Snuffle, right in the middle of the dot-com boom. But here's the problem. The US government says that encryption software is pretty much the same as munitions. Imagine that. Lines of code on par with bazookas and machine guns. They say you need a license to send it abroad, even if you're just posting it on the web. That's like saying you're an arms dealer for scribbling equations on a napkin. So Bernstein wasn't too thrilled about this, as you might imagine. He decides to push back and sues the government in 1995, arguing that this whole thing is stomping on his freedom of speech. He's backed by these digital rights champions, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, or EFF. They go into court, arguing that code is just another way of expressing ideas, just like a poem or a song. And guess what? The judge, Marilyn Hall Patel, she agrees. She rules in 1996 that code is a form of speech protected by the First Amendment and that the government can't just suppress it. But the government, they're not backing down. They appeal the decision, and the case gets bounced around like a hot potato for a few years. Meanwhile, the government decides to revise their regulations, easing up a bit on the export of cryptographic software. The case ends up in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in 1999, and they side with Bernstein again. But before the case can make it to the Supreme Court, the government changes its export laws, making the whole case moot. Even though it got caught up in legal limbo, Bernstein v. United States was a pretty big deal. It was one of the first cases to say loud and clear that code is speech, paving the way for all sorts of future debates about encryption, privacy, and our rights in the digital age. But it's not just the fact that encryption is speech as to why it shouldn't be banned. It's also mathematics. And you can't ban math either. A popular form of encryption is known as RSA. Rivest Shamir Adelman. RSA is a widely used public key crypto system, named after its inventors, Ron Rivest, Adi Shamir, and Leonard Adelman. The trio developed the system while at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, in 1977. Today, RSA forms the backbone of much of the world's digital security infrastructure. Think of encryption as a tree, its roots spreading deep into the fertile soil of mathematics. The branches of this tree, number theory and algebra, have been explored and nurtured by curious minds for hundreds of years. Take the RSA encryption, for example. It's like a quirky trick of nature. Multiplying two hefty prime numbers is a breeze, like picking two apples from a tree. But trying to figure out which two apples you picked after they've been made into a pie? Now that's a tough nut to crack. And it's precisely this clever, one-way street of a trick that gives modern encryption its formidable strength. Now imagine someone trying to chop down this tree of encryption. It's not just about outlawing a technology. It's like trying to erase a chapter from the grand book of mathematics. No matter how many laws are made, the eternal truths of mathematics persist, as unchanging as the North Star. And let's be real. In this day and age, when knowledge is as accessible as air, anyone who's ever dipped their toes into the world of mathematics could potentially whip up their own recipe for encryption. Politicians can't ban the idea of jumbling things up, writing in code, or using a language that only some people can understand. But that doesn't stop them trying. As you're listening to this, several politicians around the world are on a fool's errand, trying to ban encryption. You can watch our other video about the dangers of the Earn It Act and other similar proposals. Now imagine for a moment that you're at a magic show. The magician pulls out a box, locks it, and then hands you the only key. In this scenario, the box is like encrypted data, and the key is the encryption key. It's magic for the digital age, but not everyone's a fan. Some of the folks sitting in the audience are politicians, and they're worried. They see these magicians as hackers, terrorists, criminals, even dissenters, locking away secrets that could pose a threat to national security or hide illicit activities. They can't get inside these boxes without the key, and this makes their job of protecting the public a lot harder. So what if they suggest we just ban the magic trick altogether, or at the very least, make the magician hand over a spare key, a back door, for the authorities to use when they need to? It seems like a good idea on the surface, right? Give law enforcement the tools they need to keep us safe from the bad guys. But hold on a second. Think about your own box, your own secrets, your personal messages, your photos, your financial data, your health records. These boxes need to be locked too, and you certainly wouldn't want anyone else holding the keys. What if you wanted to privately communicate with friends about holding the government to account, or you want to criticize the government? How can a government be truly accountable to its people if people aren't allowed to have private conversations about that government? Plus, what if the spare key falls into the wrong hands? Then we're not just dealing with a few bad magicians, we've got a full-blown security crisis on our hands. And here's the thing. You can't really ban a magic trick, not when the secret's out. The knowledge of how to do the trick, how to encrypt data, is out there in the world, available to anyone with a desire to learn it. Even if we wanted to put the genie back in the bottle, it would be too late. Thanks for checking out this video report. If you support free speech, freedom from surveillance, and digital civil liberties, join Reclaim the Net. Become a supporter by going to
So I hope you guys got something out of that. Where are we at here? Ladybird, yeah, I remember you from last night. I was paying attention. I know I'm a male of the man display. Whoop, I got to turn this around here. But I actually pay attention. So yes, I remember you, and thank you for your comment. I remember. All right, let's see. Rick Roberts is here. Hey, what's going on, Broseph? Looks like the chat is clear right now. Where are we at here? Brad showed up. Just wanted to pop in and say, I'm going to miss you all tonight. Have a great convo, and I'll catch you all. Repeat tomorrow. Yeah, Brad's got work to do. He's got stuff to do. He's a busy, busy guy. Okay, so I guess there's nothing in the chat. I've asked you guys to put something in the chat, some kind of question, but if you don't want to, I understand. So as usual, I've got something queued up to take care of these issues. So I came across this article, and instead of reading it to you, so basically it's titled the FBI director's refusal to comment on Biden bribery boondoggle. So I've got a little quick video here for you that should probably make your blood boil. And the reason is because what is happening in the FBI these days is that they're just completely out of control. They're completely out of control. You know, up until the last few years, nobody even once ever said any words like, let's abolish the FBI, let's abolish the Department of Justice, because it's literally come to light that they have, that they're in this position and they know they can't be stopped right now. They know that there would have to be some unbelievable situation take place for them to be removed. But this should make your blood boil. So do me a favor, put something in the comments while you're reading this, and let's not waste any time and actually have a conversation about this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and push this button. I'm going to go with that one, and I'm going to go. I guess it's that one right there. Here we go.
Gentlemen, every day when I'm home in Texas, I hear from Texans who are deeply dismayed about the growing politicization and weaponization of the Department of Justice and the FBI. If you are not, every one of you should be deeply concerned about the damage being done to the integrity of the institutions in which you operate.
There we go.
My office hears regularly from FBI agents and from assistant U.S. attorneys who are likewise concerned about the politicization and weaponization of the Department of Justice and the FBI, and this is profoundly damaging to the rule of law in our nation. Last month, a whistleblower brought to light the existence in the FBI of a report, an FD 1023, in which the informant alleges that President Biden and his family members engaged in a $5 million bribery scheme during his time as vice president. Deputy Director Abate, is it true that the FBI has a report making those allegations?
I'm not going to comment on that, Senator.
And why is that?
I'm just not going to comment on information we received, investigations, or
Do you owe an
ongoing matters.
obligation to the American people to be candid about evidence of corruption by the President of the United States?
This is an area that I'm not going to get into with you, Senator.
Well, I understand you don't want to, and that's why people are mad at the FBI, because you're stonewalling and covering up serious allegations of evidence of corruption from the president. Yesterday, Senator Chuck Grassley stood on the Senate floor and alleged that there are 17 recordings of this informant from Burisma, Ukrainian natural gas company. 15 of them are recordings, voice recordings of him talking to Hunter Biden. 2 of them are voice recordings of him talking to Joe Biden. Deputy Director Abate, does the FBI have 17 voice recordings laying out evidence of a bribery scheme?
Senator, I would add also that we've worked with the House Oversight Committee
Yeah, this is
provide
the Senate. We're the
document
other
that
side of the Capitol. This is the Senate. Do you have those 17 recordings?
I'm not going to comment on any investigative matters, Senator.
See, that's the problem. The FBI, and I've had this conversation with Chris Wray too, this is why you are damaging the institution. The American people have a right to know whether there is serious, credible evidence that the President of the United States took a $5 million bribe. And by the way, if it's false, Chairman Durbin just rolled his eyes. If Chairman Durbin were interested in the rule of law, we would have a hearing on these allegations. But of course, the Democrats don't want a hearing on these allegations. And to be clear, if the allegations are false, you know who could disprove them? Joe Biden. He could call for this to be released publicly. But the FBI is stonewalling. Would you agree?
Two things, Senator. No
Sure.
one's stonewalling. The 1023
You just said you refused to answer the
was provided
question.
in response to a subpoena.
Okay,
to the
then why'd
House
you refuse
Oversight
to answer
Committee.
my question?
The pertinent information is there, and I reject your assertion that the
Why
FBI
did you
is
refuse to answer my
politicized.
question?
I just answered your question.
Okay, so yes, you have a 1023. Do you have the 17 recordings? Yes or no?
I'm not going to get further into that.
So you're stonewalling. You can't say I'm not refusing to answer your question, but I won't answer your question.
I'm going to answer within the parameters that we operate in. here.
That's the problem. The FBI has right now an unlimited hubris that you believe you are unaccountable. You don't believe you're accountable to the United States Congress, and you don't believe you're accountable to the American people. And you are doing damage. The FBI is a great institution. When I go home to Texas, people ask me, should we abolish the FBI? Now, I tell them no, because you have heroes and patriots working for you that are catching child predators, that are catching terrorists. But you're sitting there happily erecting a wall to protect Joe Biden. Will you provide to this committee, not the House, the Senate Judiciary Committee, will you provide the FD 1023 and will you provide the 17 recordings so we can assess what is the evidence, the specific credible evidence that Joe Biden personally took a $5 million bribe from a foreign national?
Senator, we will work with this committee, you and other members, to provide the information within the parameters of the process.
Will you provide the FD 1023, yes or no?
I will take that back, and we will work with our
So
team.
you're not answering that. Will you provide the 17 recordings?
We will take that back, and we'll work with you.
So
and
you're
your
not
staff.
answering that either. Did you investigate in any way, shape, or form these allegations?
Senator, once again, I'm not going to comment.
So
on
you're not going to say
investigative-
whether you did your job?
We do our job to the very best of our ability.
Well, not here. You're not answering a single question to the American people. And you may think this is esoteric. I promise you, millions of Americans are concerned. You know who isn't concerned? Not a single Senate Democrat. We're going to go through this whole hearing. Not one Democrat will ask a question about this. You know who else isn't concerned? The corporate media, who is joining with the Democrats in covering up this evidence. If Joe Biden is innocent, the evidence should be made public and demonstrate that he's innocent. But if he is not, is it true this informant who alleged that he personally took a bribe was an informant the FBI had relied upon previously in other investigations? Yes or no?
In each and every investigation that we have, all the work that we do,
I asked you
the
a yes or no
expectation
question.
is that every logical avenue of investigation be pursued
I asked you a
to its
yes or no
fullest.
question. Are you going to answer it?
Yeah, I'm answering your question.
Was the informant one you had relied on previously in other investigations? Yes or no?
Senator, we run down every piece of information. Every
You're not
lead,
answering it then. You're refusing to answer
objectively,
it. So you're refusing to answer the
to
question.
the fullest extent possible.
refusing to answer the
relentlessly,
question. Is that correct?
aggressively in all
expired.
instances.
Senator, your time
It's
is
disgraceful. It's disgraceful, Deputy Director Abate. Disgraceful.
Senator.
Well, I told you it'd be heated. I told you it'd make your blood boil. You know, it's a problem. It's a very serious problem. These people think that they can do whatever they want to do, whenever they want to do it, however they want to do it, and it's good. It could lead us down a path that no one wants to go down, and it's scary because, you know, it hasn't happened. It hasn't had to happen. I don't know, since the 1800s. Yeah, that's right. You might want to check out your history. Just because 1775 happened doesn't mean that something didn't happen afterwards. Check your history. Check your history. Let's like Breacher made it. I'm late, but I made it. And JB and Window Liquor, I did see your comments, but I think we're kind of going. That's kind of going down a rabbit hole I don't want to go down right now. But so when we talk about what's happening in our government, when we talk about what's happening in our world, we need to make sure that, you know, I mean, if you're in this stream, you're here because you're into preparedness. You're preparing for something that may or may not happen. Hopefully it never happens. Hopefully I just have lots of food and lots of this and lots of that. And hopefully you do too. I did not change my intro video, and it was a mistake that kind of made me think, because it was all talking about saying the show is going to be about preparedness. I'm sorry, not preparedness, but doing a threat assessment and preparedness assessment. I'm just here for the chicks. Yeah, I don't think you are. I've seen your face. But we have to take a good hard look at what is happening around us, and we have to prepare appropriately. Now, what does that mean, prepare? It means what it means. You know, I mean, I have to dance around certain words because we're on all the platforms right now. But it's at a minimum, it's water, food, and security. It has to be there. It has to be there. Savage. I know it's a hate relationship that Jester and I have. He was actually texting me while you guys were doing that. And if you guys saw my post about the grandma, I just got word she's already out. She had 2 stents. She's already eating food, and hopefully she'll be able to leave the hospital tomorrow. So good news, and hopefully it stays that way. Let's see here. Let's see. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know if all that's going to come through, but there we go. So, I had said something to Pepper about basically the Constitution and reading it, tell people to read it. But he put, this is a legitimate thing here. He's like, I get your response to my Constitution comment, but it's important for people to read it and understand how bad our government is and maybe do something. I agree. I completely agree. But right now, our focus should be protecting ourselves and our inner circles, and then moving our way out until those circles connect with each other. If you get my drift. Self-aid, buddy aid, first aid, that kind of thing. Where are we at here? Let's see. Oh, what do we got here? What's this? One way is to not use the government, so when it crashes, we can replace it with our system and restore our freedom until it becomes corrupt again. They always, it's like we always forget about how this stuff happens. We give people so much power and then and responsibility, and then what they do is they hand out that responsibility to other departments or people in administrations, and the next thing you know, they're writing rules that turn into laws that you can go to jail for when they're not elected officials, and that's a serious problem. That's a serious problem. Let's see here. But yeah, we always forget about what happens after we do that. What happens after without rule of law, and what happens when we make our tribes, and then we put our own law in. The Constitution is survived 250 something years now, and it works just fine when they follow the damn rules. Saying that we were going to put in some kind of new law or new government or organization, or we're going to run things differently. I think we've got a great plan already. What we have to do is, instead of doing what you think, what we need to do is just hold these people accountable. I'm a firm believer in making people who have taken oaths have consequences for not following those oaths. You know, when you join the military in the 80s, they were doing it into the 90s. When you took your oath, there was actually the threat of death or imprisonment that you affirmed to. I don't think they do it anymore. I think it's a problem, and I think it should be something that is made part of an oath. You know what I'm saying? And then if you don't want to be part of that organization anymore, then you say I'm not following that oath anymore. I'm not part of this anymore, and you shut your mouth and you move on forever. You know, that's one of our biggest problems that we have right now with the Constitution, with our laws here in the United States. There's no ramifications for doing anything wrong. There's no ramifications for ignoring the Constitution. You know, I've got another video set up to watch right now. It's all about how the ATF, there's a sheriff, and I won't say what town or whatever it is, but there's a sheriff who physically put a letter from him, the elected sheriff of a county, into the hands of the director of the ATF. And they didn't even have the sack to respond to him. They wrote a letter they found out who his congressman was, and they handed the letter. They made the letter to that congressman, a 3-page diatribe about how they're upholding the Constitution and their job is to protect people and blah, blah, blah. It was all horseshit, because that's all they're doing. They're not doing anything. They're just playing their stupid little game. They're on a power trip. And thankfully, there's some stuff going on in Congress just in this last week that is moving to shut them down. So we'll see what happens, you know. Let's see here. Exactly. Shelby. No, let's see. No, they like to change it to suit their needs. Yeah, that's just it. What are their needs? You know what I'm saying? Why are they doing this? Why would an organization, be making these rules that don't make any freaking sense, or they flip-flop on something with no justification whatsoever. They just say, after further review, it's like, how about providing a proof source? How about stating some facts so that people would understand and go, that's a pretty good idea you guys do. We're glad you figured out that we've been doing it wrong for the last 10 years, and we're more than willing to back you on this. But no, that's not what's happening in our government today. It's out of control. It's absolutely out of control. And I should have turned that off, but I didn't. Let's see here. I don't want my circle to touch someone else's circle. You're just being selfish, Hicktown, honey. You're just being selfish. Let's see. We can add an accountability department. Yeah, but sooner or later that goes bad too. Sooner or later that goes bad too. You've got these all these offices of inspector generals or inspectors generals. And some of those guys, they're corrupt too. They're supposed to be untouchable. They have their own budgets. They're supposed to be able to do whatever the hell they want to do, all in the under the guise of doing the right thing and then reporting what they found so that the people that have authority can fix the problem. And then those people with authority don't fix the problem. I was in the military. They call it the IG. I was part of an inspector general team that monitored 16 different programs within the Marine Corps. And because they knew that if I came in and found something wrong, it would be reported, because if not, that's my ass. And two, that they would have a time period to fix it before it was reported to the commanding general. You see what I'm saying? And why? Because there would be ramifications for failure to comply with the program rules. You see what I'm saying? But when you have an inspector's general that isn't doing their job, that is turning a blind eye, that is sending people out and that do nothing, or these people under them are doing their job and telling the actual inspectors general what they found, and then they sit on that information. Those things are happening inside of our government. That place where it's supposed to be, these guys are supposed to be untouchable. You know what I'm saying? They have become corrupted as well. So let's see here. Just found out my son is prepping. I had no idea. Beecher, awesome sauce. Get him on the channel, and we'll just pump him full of information. Let's see here. In accountability equipment with rope, it's fairly cheap, durable, and reusable. I think I'm gonna plot that. I'm gonna pop that one on there. Yeah, he has his own accountability department. I don't know if I want to be part of. All right, let me check the other chats real quick here. We have come up on our 1 hour our 1 hour spot. I'm not seeing anything. I haven't written to my elected official in a while. I need to get back at it. If you don't like what's happening, write those letters. At the minimum, you'll get a form letter back. And maybe they'll say something stupid and you can star on Fox News for a little while. But we'll see what happens. Okay, so we've reached that portion in our show where I need to talk to you about a few things that are important to the channel. First and foremost is the Patreon. That graphic is wrong. It's actually a 7-day free trial. If you take your phone and you go bloop bloop or bloop bloop, then you can actually use that QR code. It does actually go to the Patreon. The Patreon is it's basically a prepper support website. It's got lots of oodles. It's got a giant library of prepper information, and I just found some more. I've just got to get some time, and like get it in there and then let you know. Where are we at here? The next thing, obviously, is the EMP shield. Guys, if you don't have a plan for lightning hitting your house and causing $60,000 worth of damage, or if you're out on the farther end of the spectrum, if you don't have a plan for when the shit goes down and your cell phones and cars quit working, then you might want to take a look at this. And I could save you $50. Just use the code LOCALPREPPER, and you will get one. You will get one. 3 wires. Positive, negative, ground. You can install it on this, that, and the other thing. Here we go. We're going to hit Jace Medical. Jace Medical. Guys, I can't tell you enough. And I've actually got, if you guys didn't notice, I've actually got an extra $5 for it. It used to be only be $10. If you use Local Prepper 10, and you could try Local Prepper 15, but I don't know if that'll work. But Local Prepper 10, you're going to save yourself money on your antibiotics kit. I actually had a question yesterday from a longtime viewer, and I think that they finally realized that they needed to have some kind of antibiotics in their medical preparedness kit. Hey, you've got to do it. And the question was, how many people do I need for me, my wife, and my 2 kids? Well, generally, it's one per person. I mean, do you have to do that? No, you do not, because they're not cheap. But you're going to run out sooner or later. Mine, there's 2 kits right there. Whee! And the reason is because there's one for me and one for the girlfriend. I have started to use some of mine. As you guys know me, I have actually gotten sick in the past, and it saves me about $300. If you didn't know this, every time you go to the doctor, you spend about $300. All right, the last thing we're going to talk about is Parcel Safety, guys. Parcel Safety. You can save 25% off their masks if you use the code LOCALPREPPER, all one word. Everything on the internet about me, guys, is LOCALPREPPER, all one word. Do that. You'll find me everywhere. Guys, if the shit really goes down, you're probably going to find yourself in a position where you are not at home, where you are not you're not indoors, and you're going to probably want a mask that both works but is less expensive. Parcel Safety offers that. They give you a great product code right there. You can snap that QR code, or you can just go to one of the links that are in the description. So I recommend that you guys all do that, so you can be as prepared as I am, if not better. That is for sure. Okay, guys, I'm going to check the chat one more time just to make sure I'm not blowing anybody off here. I think I'm good. Government phobic. Window Liquor says he's government phobic. Yes, 60,000. The average, I can't remember which insurance program it is that the government monitors insurance companies and their payouts, and they create statistics so they know how much it costs when something goes wrong. And $60,000 is how much damage is normally done to your home if it is struck by lightning and you don't have any protection. By the way, if you do have one of these devices on your house is protected. The first thing they'll do is they're going to give you a brand new one that will replace your box. The second thing is that hopefully you told your insurance company that you had lightning protection through EMP Shield. and they're actually going to lower your monthly rate. You might want to look into it. Okay, let's see here. I think politicophobic. Now we're just making up words now. Politicophobic. And you know what? I think there's one more thing I wanted to show you guys, and then I'm going to get out of here. YouTube. What's going on with YouTube? Oh, what are we at here? There's me. No, I don't want me. I don't care about me. I'm selfless. I'm super selfless. Where's it at? That's not it. I want to see something. Something should have happened. Something should have happened. Where are we at here? Oh, there it is. Look, there it is. I'm going to share the screen for you real quick. Boom. Channel dashboard. Boom. There we go. You guys see that? We're going to get that out of the way. There we go. You see that? The graybeards have spoken. The graybeards have spoken. Content. Oh, someone's already started to watch it. The graybeards have spoken. Oh, wait a minute. I just realized I got to change the screen. This thing is so finicky. It is absolutely so finicky. You literally need a team of 25 and, to do things. There we go.
So in today's video, we're going to talk about something
graybeards
that happened
have
last
spoken.
night.
This
Last
dropped
night,
1 minute ago. You guys need to go watch this yourself. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and make it easy for you. We're going to go bloop, 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 and we're going to go bloop, and there's that. That one's for you. And let's see here. Bloop, bloop, bloop. That one's for you. And bloom, bloom, bloom. That one's for you. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and kill the stream now. You can't see me, but hopefully you can hear me. There we go. Finally, the stream is over. Go watch the other video. All right, guys, as usual, stay safe. Have a great day, and I will see you when I see you. To my Patreons, I shall see you on the inside. Have a good night, guys. I'm going to start pushing some buttons over here and